Just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
What make you? Yeah.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we're proud to be celebrating 4 years on the air, but we know we could not have made it this far without you. We work hard every single day to curate conversations that will enlighten, encourage, and empower you. So, from all of us at KBLA Talk 1580, a big thank you for your love and support.
You don't know how much you mean to me.
And by the way, if your smartphone did not update automatically, be sure to download our brand new KBLA 1580 app. We think you'll love all the new features, including new ways to send us photos and video in real time, whenever news breaks, while we're on the air. It's a new dawn, a new day for KBLA Talk 1580, and we're glad you're on this journey with us.
You never turned away, you were right there. Thank you, thank you.
Colossus, Sonny Rollins. Love me some Sonny Rollins. In this hour, two conversations, our final hour, two conversations as promised. On the B side of this hour, speaking of Ireland, which we'll talk about in a second here, a conversation with counselor Dr. Lilian Seenoi-Barr, Northern Ireland's first black mayor in the city of Derry. Imagine that, a black woman mayor in Ireland. It ain't just Muriel Bowser in D.C. or Karen Bass in L.A. or Barbara Lee in Oakland. They got a black mayor, a black woman mayor in Northern Ireland. I'm excited about this conversation with Dr. Lilian Seenoi-Barr. We'll get to that on the backside of this hour. Who says we can't do international stuff around here? We ain't just domestic. We commenced this hour, though, speaking of the saxophone, with musician and author of My Saxophone Saved My Life. It tells the story of how he survived the Miami Showband Massacre 50 years ago this week, and connects the dots to the far-right gangsters burning racist bonfires in Northern Ireland this month. His name is Des Lee, and I'm glad to have him on the program. Des Lee, how are you, sir?
Hello, Tavis. How are you? Thank you very much for having me on your station.
No, it's good to have you on the show, and thank you for the time. Got a few minutes here. Let's work through some stuff here. For those who have never heard, as I said a moment ago, I was being somewhat tongue-in-cheek, but we do domestic and we do international as well, and I always love exposing our audience to stories they may not be familiar with. The Miami Showband Massacre, 50 years ago this week. For those who have heard nothing about this ever in their lives, talk to me about the Miami Showband Massacre, and I will follow you and jump from there, sir.
The Miami Showband were the biggest show band in Ireland, north and south. We traveled all over the world, including, by the way, America. We toured all over the United States. I played in Carnegie Hall in New York, and I played in Las Vegas. We were known as the Irish Beatles, and we packed what they call dance halls on both sides of the border, north and south. Now, to give you an example how big we were, we would have had 2,500 people inside a dance hall and 2,500 people outside trying to get in. And it was just phenomenal. I often played and toured for 31 nights in a row without a night off. We were absolutely massive.
And the massacre, what happened 50 years ago?
Well, basically what happened, Tavis, we were playing in a place, booked to play in a place called the Castle Dance Hall in Banbridge in Northern Ireland.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we had played there before. It was not a problem. And we went there to do a show. And after the show was over, it was a normal thing. What you did, you came off stage. We had a wonderful, wonderful evening, came off stage, and the normal thing was to speak to our audience. So you would come down, you would sign records, you would sign photographs, you would talk to the fans, and afterwards you would go and have a cup of tea and a sandwich, and we would change into our traveling clothes and get ready to go back to that night. It was back to Dublin. On the way back to Dublin, we were stopped with a red light on the road. Now, a red light was a normal thing for us because traveling throughout Northern Ireland, there were many, many roadblocks. So we didn't think anything untoward. So we were asked to pull over, which we did. We were asked then get out of the van and go over and face the ditch, which we did. One member of the band had left that night and gone to his hometown, which was Antrim. So 5 members of the band were in the minibus that night. We faced the ditch and they asked us the usual questions. Name, date of birth, where are you going to, where are you coming from, etc., etc. So nothing untoward at any of that stage of the time we were stopped. Then what happened was the guy said, we're going to search your van, if that's okay. We said, fine, no problem. So I said, do you mind if I take my saxophone out and I put my saxophone onto the road and let you see that it's a saxophone? And they agreed to that. So I took my saxophone out of the van and I put it on the road, let them see it was a saxophone. Now, instead of going back to where I was in the line, which was far left, I was standing extreme right next to the minibus. What I didn't know at the time was that 2 of the guys who had stopped us were putting a 10-pound bomb into our minibus.
Hold that thought. Hold that thought, Des. This is getting interesting. They're putting a 10-pound bomb into the minibus as the band is facing the ditch. The book is called My Saxophone Saved My Life, The Miami Showband Massacre, and My Quest for Answers by Des Lee, our guest right now on Tavis Smiley.
From Lamert Park with love, this is Tavis Smiley.
Make a move into a home of your own. With City National Bank's Ladder Up Home Loan Grant, you could receive up to $20,000 that you never need to pay back. Use it toward your down payment, save on closing costs, or to buy down your mortgage rate. Find out more at cnb.com/ladderuphome. City National, here for every stage of the journey. Property must be in a qualifying market in California, New York, or New Jersey. Additional terms and conditions apply. Not all applicants will qualify. Terms are subject to change without notice. City National Bank is an equal housing lender. Member FDIC. NMLS number 536994.
Give people what they want.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we aim to foster enlightening, sustainable, restorative dialogue, and we welcome unapologetically progressive viewpoints that empower fellow citizens. We are now accepting submissions for KBLA Talk 1580 guest editorials like this one.
For the KBLA Talk 1580 guest editorial, I'm Martin Gordon, chair of the Pasadena Community Coalition. Recently, I listened to a Tavis Smiley show conversation with James Farr. James said something that caught me off guard. Black Altadena is gone. My community is being murdered. I said murdered.
All you have to do is go to our website homepage at KBLA1580.com and click on the icon that says KBLA Guest Editorials to learn more about our editorial standards and content submission guidelines. As long as the topic aligns with our mission, we are happy to review your submission and consider it for broadcast. We can't make any promises, but we want to amplify progressive perspectives that are community-focused and solution-oriented. So, go to KBLA1580.com right now to download all the information you need about our guest editorials. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Sometimes an identity threat is a ring of professional hackers. And sometimes it's an overworked accountant who forgot to encrypt their connection while sending bank details.
I need a coffee.
And you need LifeLock because your info is in endless places. It only takes one mistake to expose you to identity theft. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Let's get back to more of this rich dialogue with Tavis Smiley.
Tavis Smiley and Des Lee. His book is called My Saxophone Saved My Life. We've traveled to Ireland for this final live hour program today. In the on the backside of this hour, we'll talk to the first black mayor in Northern Ireland, a black woman. We'll talk to her, but we continue our conversation now with Des Lee. We've gotten to a pivotal point in this story. So the band, the Miami Showband, is standing by the side of the road. They are facing the ditch. Des has pulled his saxophone out to show the officers that it is nothing but a saxophone. He gets back in line, but he goes from the far left to the far right. And you were telling us about a bomb, Des. Pick up the story.
Tavis, what happened was I was unaware that they were putting a 10-pound bomb into the van. And what happened is when they put the 10-pound bomb into the van, it exploded prematurely and blew the two guys to pieces and threw me off my feet into the ditch below. And I was thrown onto the grass down a steep embankment. And I lay in the grass because I'd been watching American GI war movies, and I learned what they used to do during the war. You lie face down in the grass, you hold your breath, and you pretend you're dead. Now, when the bomb went off, there was screaming, shouting, absolute mayhem. And I held my breath for as long as I could. And I heard them shouting all sorts of obscenities, including, "Are you sure those bastards are dead?" And the next thing was I could see that the impact the bomb had, it set the ditch on fire. And the implication for that was that the ditch fire was coming to me. And if I stayed there the whole time, I would have been burnt alive. So I turned around and I called my three brothers, Fran, Brian, and Tony, and I got no response. I then called out Stephen Travers, and Stephen was moaning. And I said to Steve, "Steve, I'm going to go and get help." And with that, I got up and I ran up onto the ditch, onto the main road. Now, not knowing whether any of the gang were still around, and I would have been shot dead. And thank God they had left. They were gone. I got onto the main road, and what I saw was the worst scene I could ever envisage in my life. There was bits of bodies lying over the place, all over the place. Now, you see, the one thing you've got to remember, the idea was to put the 10-pound bomb into the van, tell us all to get into the van and go back to Dublin. We would have got as far as possibly Newry. The bomb would have exploded, killing all of us, we would have been then accused. The Miami Showband would have been accused of carrying weapons for the IRA. And that would have been a major problem for the British and the Irish governments. Now, as I say, it exploded prematurely, killing the two guys, and I was able to get up onto the road. I tried to get a lift with a lorry driver who had a trailer. He wouldn't let me into his outfit that he had, and I said, "Look, I'll get onto the trailer on the back," and he said no. So I think he probably thought I was part of what was going on all around him.
Yeah.
And a young couple came along in a car, and they took me into Newry police station. And as we were going into Newry, I had my hand on the door handle, because if they weren't going into Newry, I was ready to jump out of the car. But thank God they dropped me into Newry police station.
Why was the Miami Showband targeted?
Because we were the number one band in Ireland. They wanted maximum publicity, Tavis. We were the band that were all over the news, all over hit records, all over the press, television, radio, and they wanted to get maximum publicity for what they were doing.
Yeah. I'm fascinated by this story in part because it underscores what it means to have common enemies and a common struggle then and now. It also underscores the kind of brutality that is possible when white supremacists in this country, we were just talking about Ronald Reagan earlier and his appeal 45 years ago for white supremacist support in this country. But it underscores what brutality is possible when white supremacists run the military and the police. It's basically a version of the KKK International. What say you about that, sir?
Well, the thing about it is that at that particular time, the British government allowed members of the UDR and the UVF to be allowed to join the British forces. Mm-hmm. And they infiltrated into the British forces, and they were able to have the weapons and everything else and the uniforms and all. And that was a big problem, because at least we knew who the soldiers were. We knew the British soldiers. We knew at that time, the police was the RUC, the Royal Ulster Constabulary. But now you had two organizations who were allowed to be part of that. And that was a major problem for us.
We spend a lot of time on this program talking about Donald Trump. I have no other option these days, given where I sit in the United States of America. But I've made the point more times than I can count, Des, about the fact that it's not just Donald Trump. There is authoritarianism taking hold around the globe, and there are racists and white supremacists having their say around the globe. So it's not just here in this country, including these bonfires in Northern Ireland this month. I wonder if you might say a word about that, please.
Well, look, my thing is, Tavis, my whole thing now is about truth, peace, and reconciliation. I want people in Northern Ireland to basically get wise. We're 50 years on. It's time to move on for the sake of our grandkids and their kids. But unfortunately, there are elements who want to continue with bonfires, celebrations of people who had committed murders and things like that. But, at the end of the day, they are entitled to what they want to celebrate. Not that I agree with it, but I want to be able to celebrate what I'm allowed to celebrate, and I want to celebrate. And at the same time, I've got to respect their wishes as well. They should be allowed to celebrate what they want to celebrate. But at the end of the day, it's a big problem. I've got a problem with bonfires, especially when they light them so close to houses and businesses and that in Northern Ireland. I mean, these are really, really dangerous fires.
Yep.
And they shouldn't be allowed. But of course, if anyone tries to pull them down, and they have tried to organize for them to be the police have been told, go in, pull them down. But if they do, there is going to be big, big problems.
Yeah.
So they're not allowed to do it. So they go ahead with the bonfires, and it's dreadful, absolutely dreadful.
I want to spend the rest of the time we have, just about 5 minutes here. I want to spend the rest of the time talking about those three words you raised, because it seems to me that's the real epicenter of this conversation: truth, peace, and reconciliation. I just want to slow down and take them one at a time. We have all kinds of conversations here in the United States right about now about the condition of truth. What is your read in 2025 about the condition of truth in our world? It seems to me that the truth is whatever people determine it to be. It's an individual thing, right? The truth is what people determine it to be. There is no objective standard anymore these days. So what, to your mind, for starters, is the condition of truth right about now?
Truth is for the government of whichever country it is in the world. There's too much corruption in the world today. Truth should be that people are truthful to the people who live in their country. In our case, that was the British. We wanted the British to come forward and tell the truth about everything that happened in the Miami. Who did what? Why did they do it? And we still haven't got certain answers. You probably read in the book about a guy called Captain Robert Narek. He was the mastermind behind the Miami Massacre. He was a British Army guy, top man. He organized the uniforms, the guns, the weaponry, the cars, the 10-pound bomb. Everything was organized by him. And the British government to this day deny it. So when we talk about truth, countries around the world, including mine, must tell their people the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yeah. The second word you raised was peace, and there's so many hot spots on the globe right now. The one getting the most conversation, most attention, of course, is what's happening in Gaza, in Palestine right about now. But peace seems, not just there, but in other parts of the globe, peace seems in some ways more elusive these days than ever. Talk to me about peace, Desley.
Well, you know, when I look at the news here in Ireland, and which I do, I check it out all day, every day. American news, British news, whatever news. And I am absolutely appalled by what I see going on around the world, whether it's Palestine, whether it's Israel, whether it's one of the things that I really cannot understand is Ukraine and what Russia is doing to Ukraine. Mm-hmm. What right has Russia to be in Ukraine? They have no right whatsoever to be in there. That country should be allowed to live in peace. And I can't understand it. One war ends and another one starts. You know, when will the world ever learn? And it's amazing the wars that are going on at the moment in the world, and when are they ever going to end? Now, in fairness to your president, I feel that he is doing a pretty good job. He's basically put it up to Putin. You either get your act together or we're coming after you. And I appreciate him for that. Yeah. You know, I wish there were more people like your president who would stand up to these tyrants. The only problem I have at the moment is Israel allowing so many thousands and thousands and hundreds of thousands of people to starve to death. To me, including young babies, I saw on television last night, a 5-month-old baby dying of starvation. That is totally unacceptable.
Nope, we agree.
And the Israeli government should be ashamed of themselves.
No, we agree on that point. Let me just circle back right quick. My time is getting tight on me. Circle back to Donald Trump. I agree with you on that particular point. Of late, Donald Trump has given Putin a number of days, 10 to 12 days, to do something about Ukraine, or he's going to move in a different direction. The problem with Donald Trump, just so you're clear, is he's schizophrenic on these issues. He bounces back and forth all the time. What he said yesterday may not be where he is tomorrow. So at the moment, he's in the right place on the Ukraine thing, giving Putin 10 to 12 days to do the right thing, or else we'll figure out what Plan B is. But again, he bounces around on these things, so it's hard to know where he'll be tomorrow on this issue. I'll leave that where it is. I've got 90 seconds left. I'll give it all to you to say a word about that last word, reconciliation. We've been talking about truth and peace, and now reconciliation. My mind went to South Africa. Speaking of truth and reconciliation, that's what Desmond Tutu and others did after the fall of apartheid. They established a TRC, a Truth and Reconciliation Commission. People came forward, and it frankly saved that country and turned it into the democracy, struggling though it may be, turned it into the democracy that it is. But in 60 seconds, talk to me about reconciliation.
Well, you're talking about South Africa. I lived in South Africa, Tavis, for 23 years till I lost my late wife.
Yeah.
I lived in South Africa, and the greatest man that I ever met in my life, and I met him, and he was the most wonderful man, and we've never seen anything like him since. And that was the good old Nelson Mandela.
Madiba.
There's never been a man like him.
Yeah.
And South Africa has never found anyone to stand next to him. And that country is so corrupt now. And when we talk about reconciliation, I want to talk about Ireland. I would love to see our country reconciliation happening now. Our problem here is that we have two sides. There's the orange and the green. And I would like to see the two of us getting together, forgetting about religion, and moving forward for the sake of our kids, our grandkids, and our kids of the future. Reconciliation, forgetting about orange and green, the bomb and the bullet, and just get on with being good citizens.
Nope, that's it. That's
a peaceful life.
No, those are the words of the day: truth, peace, and reconciliation. Des Lee, an honor to have had you on the program, my friend. Thank you for your time. All the best to you.
Tavis, thank you for your time. To you and your listeners, God bless.
Thank you, sir. When we come forward, we'll stay in Ireland for 31 minutes, the last 30 of this show, and talk to the first black mayor, a woman mayor in Northern Ireland. You're listening to Tavis Smiley.
Helping to stretch your moral and political imagination. This is Tavis Smiley.
I'm Misty Jordan with BIN News Now. The fines for parents of children who are caught violating the city of Detroit's curfew are going up. Black City Councilman Coleman Young II says it's needed.
We cannot be a thriving city and we have 4-year-old blood shed in the street.
The Detroit City Council voted 7-1 yesterday to approve the increase from $75 to $250 for the first offense. A second offense will go from $100 to $500. Attorneys for Sean Diddy Combs want a federal judge to release him from jail. They're requesting he be let out on a $50 million bail and allowed to reside in his Miami home ahead of his October 3rd sentencing. And Baltimore City Public School students and children 12 and under can now use their student pass to ride the bus, light rail, and subway services for free. Get BIN News now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Compassion sponsorship means food, healthcare, education, and more for a child in poverty. And there are thousands of kids who've been waiting over a year and their wait. Sponsor a child with compassion today. Text the word radio to 83393.
Is this the tackle? This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The shooting Monday in a New York City building that houses the NFL's national headquarters has a very local connection. Shane Tamura, the identified man who shot and killed 4 people, people, was a running back for 2 Southern California high school football teams. Tamura played 3 years at Golden Valley High School in Santa Clarita. He transferred to Granada Hills Charter School in the San Fernando Valley for his senior year. The 27-year-old Tamura fatally shot himself after his shooting rampage. A letter found in Tamura's pocket indicated he may have been looking for NFL personnel in the Manhattan office building. In his letter, Tamura blamed the NFL for his CTE symptoms, a brain disease linked to head trauma. In the letter, Tamura requested to have his brain examined after the autopsy. Monday's tragedy could have been a lot worse. Tamura took the wrong elevator while trying to find the NFL's offices. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey, man. Hey, what's up, What's that station you listening to? Oh, man, you don't know? That's Talk Radio. KBLA, 1580 AM. Check it out. 1580 KBLA. KBLA AM. 1580 Talk Radio. Progressive.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we're celebrating our 4th anniversary, and this track right here is the gift one of our devoted listeners presented to us.
Where you get some information, get a true education, just to know. Ooh, yeah. 1580.
How cool is that? Having a member of our KBLA delegation write us a song. Stop it! Our listeners love us and there ain't nothing we can do about it. Wouldn't want to. Thanks to Cardell and everybody else for turning on KBLA Talk 1580. We love you right black.
KBLA 1580 Talk Radio. Keep it like me. Ooh, KBLA 1580 Talk Radio. Progressive.
Is it time for a new job? Then it's time for Express Employment Professionals. Quit the endless online job search. Enlist the pros. Let a local recruiter from one of their 870 locations help. And Express never charges job seekers a fee. Go to expresspros.com.
Paid for by government.com. Did you know the United States Mint has issued a new Morgan silver dollar coin in proof condition for the first time? Not only that, they are also minted in 99.9% pure silver for the first time ever in history. Coin experts are calling this an amazing opportunity for anyone that knows the enduring popularity of Morgans. But you must hurry. Only 400,000 of these legal tender silver dollars were issued. These first ever Morgan silver dollars are brand new with stunning mirror-like finish, minted by the iconic San Francisco Mint. Call now and you're guaranteed a new first ever 99.9% pure silver proof Morgan dollar. To learn more, call 1-800-973-9717. If you order now, you will receive a free coin collector bonus pack, a $25 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-973-9717 now to secure your new Morgan silver dollars before they are gone. That's 1-800-973-9717.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Sometimes an identity threat is a ring of professional hackers. And sometimes it's an overworked accountant who forgot to encrypt their connection while sending bank details.
I need a coffee.
And you need LifeLock, because your info is in endless places. It only takes one mistake to expose you to identity theft. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Sometimes he fails at fitting in, but we're okay with that. You're inside the Tavis Smiley Show.
You are indeed, as I promised, we stay in Ireland for the last 30 minutes of our program today for a conversation that I've been looking forward to with Dr. Lilian Seenoi-Barr. Her term just ended, actually weeks ago, in fact, back in April. Her term just ended, but she was the first black mayor in Northern Ireland, and I'm honored to have her on this program. Dr. Seenoi-Barr, how are you today? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Let's try this again. Yeah, I think you're... There you go.
Hello.
I think you were muted. How are you today?
I am very well. How are you?
If I complained, I'd be an ingrate. I am doing remarkably well, and I'm honored to have you on this conversation for a few minutes in conversation, Mayor. Let me just make the most of the time we have. It's going to get real tight here really quickly. I know that, again, you made history as a black woman mayor in Northern Ireland, which fascinates me. But I also know, reading and preparing for our conversation, that you are Kenyan-born. Tell me about your Kenyan roots and how one goes from Kenya to Ireland and then the mayor. We'll get to the mayor part a little bit later, but just tell me about your journey from Kenya to Ireland.
Yeah, by the way, Tavis, thank you for having me. I was born in Kenya in a town called Narok. I know your listeners have heard about the Masai Mara Game Reserve.
Yes.
So it's only 1 hour away from my home. I am from the Maasai tribe. And I grew up basically in Kenya for 28 years of my life. And then as my background is community development, and I started working in the Maasai community, empowering the Maasai girl child. Now, for those who don't know about the Maasai people, we are one of the most iconic traditions in the whole world. Our culture and tradition is known, very popular, but within the culture, we have some negative practices, and that will be female genital mutilation. Thank goodness it's now illegal, and forced marriage for young girls. So my work was really to support the young child, reinvent them through choice and education. That work became quite dangerous because anyone who knows, if you're trying to fight an embedded tradition that is within your community for such a long time, there are people who want to protect it for selfish reasons and others just to maintain the status quo. So I started getting a lot of threats, and I was lucky enough to have teamed up with a lot of other charities and individuals and well-wishers and donors across the world. And that's how I really ended up in Derry, because I had a group of volunteers who are working in Kenya. They happened to witness the work I was doing, but also the threats I was getting. And then they welcomed me to Derry, and I moved here in 2010.
2010. And how did you end up being so political? I'm just fast forwarding to this notion of you being the historic black mayor in Northern Ireland. Tell me about what happens in 2010 and how you get so engaged that years later you're the mayor of the city.
Yeah, when I came to Derry, I really started working in the community, and this was just inspired by my own personal experiences. For those who don't know Derry, it's a very small city in the north of Ireland. It's the second city of Northern Ireland, the fourth city of Ireland, and its population is about 150,000 people. It's not very diverse. There's a very small group of minoritized people from all backgrounds, a very small black community. And whenever I was walking on the street, you could hardly come across another black person. And really, when I arrived, although the warmth and the kindness of the people really made me feel very welcome, everything else felt very foreign. Not just the people, the language, the food. It was really hard to connect, hard to navigate the systems. There was no roadmap for any person who comes to this country and how they can settle. So I decided to build my own tribe, using my own skills and knowledge back from Kenya of community organizing and community development. I established an organization called the Northwest Migrants Forum, which I am still the CEO of the organization. And the idea was to help people navigate integration more easily, but also to connect communities, because I saw how divided things were here. Now, your listeners may not also know the history of Northern Ireland. It's a place that is sectarian, is embedded into the communities. There are two traditions, two tribes, and they're still struggling to accept each other. So we as people who are born outside Northern Ireland add another added challenge to the community, if you like. But you can look at it in a positive way, where we can really dilute the sectarianism that exists there. And that was the vision I had when I came here. I believed, and still do believe, we can bridge that gap by sharing our own stories, helping policymakers to see us, and showing that we can live side by side with dignity and mutual respect. So I really became very active in the community. First, empowering the minoritized communities, giving them a voice, engaging them into policy decisions, helping them to speak up and share their experiences so they can shape policies that will affect them directly. And then during my work, I make a joke of this, and I was discovered by a political party called Social Democratic Labour Party, which I share the values and principles and the vision of Ireland with them. And they welcomed me to join their political party. I do believe that to change society, we have to engage in politics, because politics is everything. Some of us have been made to believe that politics is divisive, but real politics is about delivering for people.
No, I agree.
It's about changing people's lives, and I knew the impact that can have when we have a voice on those decision-making tables.
But given the scarcity, the paucity of black people in that city, or just minoritized people, to use your phrase, in Derry City to begin with, how does one who is standing out in the way that you did and do get elected mayor in a city where there's so few minorities?
I think because the focus is not about minorities. The focus is about delivering for everyone within our society. Now, we have shared challenges. In Northern Ireland, we are in a housing crisis. It does not just affect minoritized people or black people. It affects everyone in society. Where our children are struggling in education systems. We have young people with additional needs. They are all from all backgrounds. They are all struggling to settle in schools. Accessing healthcare, it's an universal challenge. So I was able to present a different future for Ireland, and as a place where division is what has defined the society. I come with hope. I come with prosperity. I show that we can focus on real issues, not just issues that are affecting our community as a community of interest of black people, but everyone within our community. And everybody wants a better life. I think if you speak to everyone, whether you're black or white, you want a good life for yourself, for your family, and for your friends. So that is the vision I presented, and that is why I was elected mayor.
I'm mad at you. It's a beautiful story coming from Kenya to Ireland and to Northern Ireland, and ends up in a city where there are very few minoritized people being elected as a black woman mayor of the city of Derry. But the story doesn't stop there. When we come forward, I want you to hear her talk about this particular journey that she was able to take. She went from Kenya to Northern Ireland, and then in May of this year, she went from Northern Ireland to Washington, D.C. Why? Glad you asked. Because she was honored with an honorary degree by the Bison at Howard University for her work and witness. She was given an honorary Doctor of Laws at the graduation ceremony, the commencement this year, literally just a couple months ago at Howard. And at Howard, she had a chance to meet somebody named Barbara Lee. I said earlier on today's program that it's not just Barbara Lee, who's now mayor of Oakland. It's not just Karen Bass, who's the mayor of the city I sit in right now, Los Angeles. It's not just Muriel Bowser in D.C., but it was Mayor Dr. Lilian Seenoi-Barr, who was mayor in Derry City, but she made her way to Washington, and it turns out that at the commencement at Howard this year, Barbara Lee was honored as well. So the mayor from Derry City got to meet the now mayor of Oakland, and I am curious as to what that conversation was like when she met Barbara Lee. You're listening to Tavis Smiley.
From California to the Carolinas, everybody's listening to Tavis. More when we come forward.
Yeah. At KBLA Talk 1580, we're proud to be celebrating 4 years on the air, but we know we could not have made it this far without you. We work hard every single day to curate conversations that will enlighten, encourage, and empower you. So, from all of us at KBLA Talk 1580, a big thank you for your love and support.
You don't know how much you mean to me.
And by the way, if your smartphone did not update automatically, be sure to download our brand new KBLA 1580 app. We think you'll love all the new features, including new ways to send us photos and video in real time, whenever news breaks, while we're on the air. It's a new dawn, a new day for KBLA Talk 1580, and we're glad you're on this journey with us.
You never turned away, you were right there. Thank you.
We asked seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up. Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone. And should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement.
Check your statement every month. If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Worried about eviction? You have rights, and Stay Housed LA can help. Stay Housed LA is a partnership between LA County, the City of Los Angeles, and local service providers. From Lancaster to Long Beach, we're here to help you with tenant education workshops, legal clinics, free legal services for eligible tenants, and online resources about tenant protection laws. Don't face eviction alone. Call our hotline at 1-888-694-0040. That's 1-888-694-0040. Or visit stayhousedla.org. Stay Housed LA, keeping Los Angeles residents in their homes. Stay Housed LA, your rights, your home, our community. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Freedom is an endless meeting. So let's get back to it with Tavis Smiley.
I have breaking news before I close the show here in a few minutes. This is embargoed until another 10 minutes from now. This program is heard in different time zones and different times of day across the country. But if you're listening to me live right now, this story will be everywhere in about 10 minutes from now. But the word is that Kamala Harris has decided not to run for governor of California. She's going to make an announcement, again, about 10 minutes or so from now. You heard it first on KBLA Talk 1580. Kamala Harris, former vice president, will not, apparently, I say apparently just to make sure I cover myself, but I think I got it on good authority. I think I got good authority that she's not going to be running for governor of California, making an announcement literally just moments from now. And what that suggests to me is that she may still be interested in the presidential sweepstakes. She came so close the last time around, raised $1 billion. Of course, there'll be serious competition the next time around for president of these United States. But my sense is that Kamala Harris still has not gotten out of her system yet, and that she may want to seek the presidency once again on the Democratic ticket, of course. But there you have it. We'll see if I'm right a few minutes from now, but I've got it on good authority that Kamala Harris is about to announce here shortly that she is not running for governor of California. So stay tuned for that. It'll be, of course, big news everywhere in just a matter of moments from now. But you're at first here on KBLA Talk 1580. That's what I'm getting, and I think I'm right about that. I'm pretty sure I am. But that's what I have for you right now. Kamala Harris, again, moments from now, about to announce she will not be running for governor of California. I don't know if she's going to say anything about president. Likely she won't. She ain't going to jump out that fast, I don't think. But that's what I know at this hour. And the minute I got it, I wanted to share it with you. So there you have it. When we come forward now, remaining moments, I do want to close this conversation with the former mayor of Derry City in Northern Ireland, that is, Dr. Lilian Seenoi-Barr, about what it was like to get that honorary doctorate from Howard just a few weeks ago, and what it was like to spend some time with another mayor, Barbara Lee, who was also honored at that ceremony, now mayor of Oakland. You're listening to Tavis, Smiley.
This is getting good. Yeah, man. Tavis Smiley continues when we come forward.
What make you? Yeah.
The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
The following is a paid advertisement by Family Vacation Getaways with the purpose of soliciting sales of vacation ownership. For complete details, please visit fvgradio.com. If you want a 100% complimentary stay at a luxury resort in Cancun, airfare not included, then Family Vacation Getaways is your ticket to paradise. See website for complete details. We're giving away 5 days and 4 nights to the first 50 callers who can name an animal that lays eggs and is not a bird. An animal that lays eggs and is not a bird. Do you know it? Call now, 800-868-6431. 800-868-6431. You're also eligible for an exciting bonus vacation to Orlando, Florida for just $498. And don't worry about anything ruining your plans. We can extend your travel up to 18 months. Name an animal that lays eggs and is not a bird, and get a complimentary Cancun resort stay and an optional bonus vacation to Orlando for just $498. What are you waiting for? Call 800-868-6431. 800-868-6431 and give us your answer. The proceeding is not a contest and is a paid advertisement by Family Vacation Getaways and not sponsored by this program or its affiliates.
If you're like me, 60 and retired, making ends meet, especially here at the supermarket and drugstore, is tough. I'm so blessed to have found benefitscheckup.org. It's a free and confidential website from the National Council on Aging that connected me to $1,200 a year in programs that help pay for food, medicine, utilities, and more. Maybe it can help you. benefitscheckup.org.
You know where you want to go in life, and City National Bank can help. City National knows the dedication it takes to build your vision for the future into a reality, and our team is here for you. We have a wide range of options to help, from personal savings accounts to interest-bearing money market savings accounts and more, all designed to help you get where you want to go. City National, here for every stage of the journey. Learn more at cnb.com. City National Bank is a subsidiary of Royal Bank of Canada, member FDIC.
Sometimes he fails at fitting in, but we're okay with that. You're inside the Tavis Smiley Show.
You are indeed for another 4 minutes here. I got 4 minutes left here with the former mayor. Her term just ended in April, but her name is Dr. Lilian Seenoi-Barr. She was mayor, a black woman who was mayor of Derry City in Northern Ireland, and made a lot of history when she pulled that off. So she came to Washington in May, a few weeks ago, to receive an honorary doctorate from the Bison at Howard University, and there she got a chance to meet Barbara Lee. What was that conversation like, Mayor?
Oh my goodness. Barbara Lee is an icon, one of my personal heroine. And I first met her in September last year when she was recognized for her outstanding contribution to racial justice. And to be acknowledged along her by Howard University was not just humbling, it was a deeply moving event for me because I knew her story. I got to understand the life that she has led, but the service that she has provided for her community selflessly. And we had such a great time together. And even in that moment of celebration where you think she'll be focusing on herself and her achievement, Barbara was just thinking about how she could continue to improve the lives of her constituents in Oakland, California. And that is the kind of leader she is, always grounded, always focused on service. And for me, as a young emerging Black leader, you couldn't be prouder to be in her presence and to just suck in all the knowledge, and just being with her was enough to inspire me because I have immense love and admiration for Barbara.
Yeah. Give me a sense in these 90 seconds of what it felt like for you. I'm glad you got a chance to meet and spend more time, meet again, I should say, Barbara Lee, and spend some quality time with her. But how did you feel being honored by Howard University with the highest award they can give you?
Receiving an honorary doctorate from Howard meant the world to me, and I really mean this. For me, it wasn't just an accolade. It was a deeply personal affirmation. It was a recognition from an institution that represents the excellence, the strength, and the resilience of Black people globally. And I don't know if Howard University actually knows that the amount of respect that the Black community across the world has for that institution, and to be honored by what I call a Black-owned university, one with such a rich legacy of leadership and social justice. It filled me with pride and profound gratitude.
Yeah.
And it gave me that sense of belonging to something special.
Yes.
And there is nothing that could top that pride and satisfaction I felt that time. And we haven't stopped talking about it. It is
Well,
the highlight of my life.
You've done some special work, and that work and witness was honored by Howard University, as it should have been, for what you've done, not just inside Kenya, but now, of course, in Northern Ireland, former mayor of the city of Derry, still doing some amazing work. And so I'm glad that you and Barbara Lee got to connect, but I'm just glad that Howard had the good sense to give you an honorary doctor of laws, and it's an amazing story. Mayor, I'm out of time. I've been honored to have had you on this program. We'll do it somewhere down the road again, but again, what an honor to be in conversation with the former mayor of Derry City, a Black woman running a city in Northern Ireland, Dr. Lilian Seenoi-Barr. Honored to have you on the program. Enjoy the rest of your day, and thank you for your time.
You're very welcome. Thank you, Tavis.
My great pleasure. Just like that, 3 hours gone, back here tomorrow to do all over again, Lord willing. Until next time, breaking news, Kamala Harris is about to announce that she will not be running for governor.